Today I'm going to talk about idents. Idents come in all shapes and sizes. They can vary in all different categories depending on the specific target audience. I will be discussing 3 individual idents. My example of a successful ident is the Fluffy Figure 2 from BBC Two. My example of an unsuccessful ident is the E4 caravan from E4. And finally, an ident of my choosing is the corridor ident from Film 4. The first ident I will talk about is an effective ident from BBC Two. Why this is successful is the Fluffy 2 has been constructed to look like a fluffy animal or squeaky toy. It drags itself across the screen like a caterpillar, squeaking as it goes, and ends up by doing a 360-degree jump in the air. It is designed to be eye-catching and humorous to the viewer. The purpose of the ident is to provide branding for BBC Two. The Figure 2 ident works perfectly for the channel because it is completely self-explanatory. You can't mistake it for any other channel. Some of the BBC Two idents are more subtle in their use of the Figure 2, but this one is a big, blue, fluffy Figure 2 against a red background. The choice of blue also matches the BBC Two logo. The ident is communicating that you are watching BBC Two and does this in a creative, clever and humorous way. The audience for BBC Two has traditionally been middle-class male and females in their 20s upwards, because there are quite a lot of serious programmes on the channel. The fluffy ident may be a way of trying to attract new audiences for BBC Two, because it is funny and cute, and not in the least serious and old-fashioned. The second ident I will talk about is an effective ident from the channel E4. An effective ident generally has the channel logo from start to finish, so even if it was on for a few seconds, the audience would be able to distinguish the channel and possibly the genre of the programming. The ident was unsuccessful because it is clearly not identifiable. It consists of a one-pan shot of a caravan park beside a beach, panning round children playing, people dancing in a caravan, a dancing bear, people walking about, a man spraying graffiti on a caravan, and a plane carrying a flag in the distance. The E4 logo robot is shown once in the ident, barbecuing with his dog. This is ineffective because having the logo in the background while the shot is panning does nothing for the branding of the channel, and it's hard for the audience to decipher if it's just for display or the actual brand in the ident. It fails to communicate to the audience because it isn't clear what it's trying to communicate to the audience other than making fun of British people in an ironic way. But it's also making fun of teenagers, the main target audience of the channel, because there's a lot of teenager connotations in the ident: drinking, partying, the bear doing rave dancing, graffitiing, which is a very biased and negative view. But on the other hand, it's also trying to appeal to that target audience as well, because it's trying to use humour to promote the channel, because humour is the well-known gimmick to get that type of target audience interested. The target audience for the channel E4 is dominantly female 16 to 34-year-olds because there are a lot of light-hearted, humorous programs shown on the channel, but there is also a lot of good quality drama as well: EJ Skins, My Mad Fat Diary, etc. This has been proven through multiple polls, including my survey, that the amount of females watching the channel is higher than the males. There's been a lot of Facebook appreciation groups set up for E4 shows as well, and their website is used by over 2 million people a month. This is because their target audience tends to be heavy internet users, and a lot of their programs, e.g. the show Misfits, has extra clips on the website so the viewer can understand the episodes. And finally, the last ident I will talk about is the corridor ident from Film 4. This is a very successful ident because it gets its point across to the audience without trying too hard, and it's instantly recognisable. The first shot the viewer sees is the famous corridor from the film The Shining. Then the shot moves down onto a repeated shot of the corridor in which the logo has started to appear. The shot moves down again, rather like a lift, except the pace quickens up and it ends up looking like a film reel. Again, this is appropriate for the theme of the channel. The viewer can see that the logo is coming together slowly in the film reel, and by the end of the ident, the logo has fully come together to form the logo Film 4. The music used for this ident is quite cinematic, so this also makes it appropriate for the channel. And the end of the ident, a fire starts in the corridor, which suggests to the viewer that it's very much a quality channel showing dramatic content. The purpose of the ident is to brand Film 4, to make the audience know that it's a film channel and what kind of films they show. The purpose is also to create a cinematic atmosphere to make the viewer feel like they're watching a film in the cinema. They put different film references in the idents for the target audience who enjoy watching films. The ident offers the channel the opportunity to reflect the type of quality content that is shown on the channel and the chance to show its creative side, as the style in every ident is structured like a film reel. It also attracts a wide range of audience, from young to old, because the channel shows all kinds of films for diverse ages and interests. The main target audience for Film 4 is middle-class working male and females of all ages, but the secondary target audience is also families because the amount of family films that are shown on the channel. The types and methods to define those audiences would be through surveys, polls, and rating figures. As I have explained, idents are much more complex than the viewer might appreciate. The thought process behind each ident is very in-depth, and the director has taken a lot of things into consideration. For example, the brand, the types of techniques that can be used, and what the target audience looks for. I hope you have enjoyed my video essay on idents.